Hello, everyone! The long-awaited episode 34 has finally come out, and oh my god, what can I even say about it? I don't want to spoil things for you or anything, guys, but this episode was the best MonsterUp has done so far, and I was just blown away by how freaking epic it was. Okay, and now I'm going to break the whole episode down for you and tell you about all the secrets and Easter eggs that you definitely missed in it. So, if you're really ready, then put all your business aside for the next 11 minutes, and trust me, what crazy creature did Zombie Titan TV Man turned into? Will Titan Siren join G-Man or be against him till the end? And most importantly, what insane superpower will G-Man show to us in the next episode? If you want to know the answers to all these questions, then get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because it's going to be fire. Let's go! But before I'll start digging into episode 34, let me remind you real quick about the events of the previous episode so you won't get too confused about what has actually been going on. So the episode 33 started with an alarm in an underwater base where plungerman successfully arrived at and met with camerawoman. And besides her, there were other familiar faces at that base who seemed to come from Boom's original Skibidi toilet series. And it's possible that we would see their own plot arcs in Skibidi Zombie Universe 2 sometime later. Plungerman also got the new arm instead of the one that was cut off by the knight, so now he can fight again. As the base got discovered by Titan Siren, Plungerman, in pair with other agents, gets to the shark-shaped submarines and starts moving towards the threat. We saw Titan Siren emerging from the mist, and despite being attacked by the shark marines, he remains unharmed. Astro Obliterator then appears, but even his powerful guns, which were supported by subsequent waves of attacks from Skibidi Kamikaze, don't significantly damage Titan Siren. Instead, it only made the situation worse. So enraged, Titan Siren disables all the machines with an energy-blocking wave and begins eliminating the shark marines one by one. But thankfully, Plungerman barely manages to escape from his shark marine by diving into the ocean. And after that, the episode solely focuses on the Titan's characters. So as Astro Obliterator gets heavily damaged and possibly even destroyed, Titan Siren then gets distracted by the iconic Skibidi Skibidi sound, which lead to a double smack attack from Titan G-Man and Astro Juggernaut combined together. And then we saw one of the most epic fights resembling the battles from Matrix movie series between all three Titans. The fight then gets interrupted by the huge infected Titan TV Man who behaves like a crazy shark, who jumps out of the water but falls back in comically. And after that embarrassing arrival, G-Man engages in a fight with Zombie Titan TV Man, while Astro Juggernaut goes after Titan Siren. And in my previous analysis, I suggested that Titan Siren could have a moral choice here, whether to unite with G-Man and Astro Juggernaut against the Zombie Titan TV Man, or to continue fighting all of them. And in case he would unite with his former enemy, it would lead to a temporary union and a major ceasefire between the speakermen and the Alliance, enhancing their chances against the zombie virus. So now, when episode 34 is released, it's time to see what actually happened and what crazy events MonsterUp prepared for us. Okay, so now when your memory is refreshed and you're all set and ready, episode 34 is already on your screens. But before I'll dive into actual analysis, let me remind you to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content I'm making, because I really appreciate your support. Okay, so if you are subscribed now, let's get back to the episode. So all action starts with an epic fight between all three Titans. And as G-Man was dealing the infected Titan TV Man in a melee battle, suddenly their duo gets interrupted by Titan Siren as well, who decided not to just stay aside and do nothing about it. So at first, Siren provides a few heavy smacks to Zombie TV Man, and in that moment I started feeling some hope that he and G-Man will indeed fight on the same side. But that's not what was going to happen in this episode, unfortunately. Well, at least not yet, as in the next scene we can see how Titan Siren gets into the fight with G-Man as well. And to tell you honestly, guys, I don't really see what logic does Siren pursue by choosing his fights in such a way. It's obvious that his first and foremost task that was given to him by Speakerman was to retrieve the information about the Purple Core and chase down Plungerman, who possessed the most amount of knowledge that Speakerman's race needed. But Titan TV Man is also standing on his way, as he basically arrived for Plungerman as well. Or at least that's what Titan Siren might think about. Because as we watch the secret scene with Zombie TV Man and Dave, we know that the Plague Doctor sent his most developed apprentice for taking Titan Siren too. Okay, but wouldn't it be more logical for Siren to temporarily team up with G-Man and kick Titan TV Man's butt and only afterwards go to the fight with G-Man himself? And to the question, why didn't he do exactly that? I have only one explanation. Apparently Titan Siren, just as the rest of speakermen, is hating on G-Man so much that he couldn't really escape the opportunity to fight with his archenemy. So another epic melee fight starts, which is also involving an amazing cinematography and sword combos. And this whole scene really reminded me of the fighting scene from Transformers movie series. But G-Man is really powerful at the moment, so he manages to throw Siren off his back pretty easily. But before he manages to do anything further than that, Titan TV-man also engages in the fight and attacks Skibidi Commander with the energy beam from his red-infected core. This knocks G-Man to the ground, and while he was losing time trying to get up, TV-man already activated his classic ability and detached the mobile TV screens from his shoulders and send them to the chosen target. And if you remember the original first part of episode 68 by Boom, then you understand that each TV screen of Titan TV-man has its own mind and even personality, and they are able to act independently on their wearer. But in Skibidi Zombie Universe by MonsterUp, it seems like those screens are just as possessed as Titan TV-man himself, and there's little to no personality or cleverness about them. They are acting just as projectiles with huge teeth and terrifying appearance. And while they were quickly approaching Jimmy, he already managed to retract his separate swords from the sand and repel all of them. The power of his hit was so huge that he easily sent them back to the sands, and they exploded on the impact. And by the way, I'm really wondering how exactly did he manage to get his swords back? Does Hephaestus' core give our brother telekinesis powers or something? Okay, but that doesn't matter that much, I think. And the most important detail that we should keep in mind is that G-Man is on the peak of his powers right now, and he better use them wisely. Titan TV-man then tries to avenge his little bros and approach Jimmy again. Although at that particular moment, he looked more like a crazy old drunkard than a terrifying zombie. But maybe that's just me. And he get interrupted by Titan Siren anyway, who focuses all the power of his own core in his hand and then gives TV-man a crushing blow. It seems to hit so hard that Titan TV-man's soul literally left his mortal body, and I actually mean it, because MonsterUp shared one interesting information with me, how inside of every zombie there are their original souls left. And even when their bodies are possessed by the disgusting virus, their souls still stay to be conscious and have a clear mind and memory, so they can actually understand everything that is going on. That's a really neat concept. And I think we already saw something similar a few episodes ago when we saw the original soul coming out of the knight's body. So I guess that can be applied not to just zombies, but to some agents as well. So after Titan TV-man's soul shows up on our screens, we were given a moment to see our old buddy once again, who is not the brainless monster after all. He looks at his left hand and asks himself, what happened with me? Then he looks at what became of his body, which was turned into a terrible pile of zombie flesh, and then coldly asks G-Man to destroy him. And I can understand why he's asking him that pretty well, because it's really unbearable to stain your former reputation and see how your previous self becomes just a memory. And I think that G-Man realizes it perfectly well, although this asking must hurt as hell. But then this moment of sadness goes away and Zombie TV Man gets back to life, if I can say so. He furiously shoots Siren out of his way while using his core once again. And then he plans to step closer to G-Man, but it turns out that Bro has his own plan, so what happens next is just extremely epic. So Jimmy sends several swords into flying, and each one of them hits the disgusting target and literally pins Zombie TV Man to the ground. So G-Man's plan was to immobilize his former friend first, and deal with another threat when there is some time for it. And it seems like Siren is rooting for this plan as well, so both Titans get into another awesome melee fight, and well, do I even need to say something here? That looks just perfect, and I would like to compliment MonsterUp's animation skills once again. And in my personal opinion, the action scenes in his Skibidi multiverse look the best of all the multiverses I've seen, and this is not an understatement. And I also got a really strong vibe from Asian action movies while looking at this melee fight, because instead of swords, the Titans are using mortal arts techniques now, and this looks extra epic. And after an intense fight, G-Man finally manages to strike Siren right into his core so hard that the Titan of Speakerman's race gets literally pushed back, and the sparkles start coming out of his green core entrance. And also in that moment, I also felt like both Titans got a bit more exhausted, which was not good because Titan TV Man seems to start waking up as well. But then something even crazier began happening. At first, I expected that Titan TV Man will just break free and mess up with Jimmy's initial plan. But everything turned out to be even worse than that. In fact, Titan Siren decided to use this terrible situation to join forces with Zombie TV Man and finish G-Man down first, so the fight now seems to be extremely unequal. And I don't even know why, but this move from Siren was kind of disgusting in general, and I was pretty angry when I saw this twist for the first time. So now G-Man has to fight two powerful enemies at once, and of course his powers have already started to cease. And at one moment it could have looked like everything was lost for our Chad, and he even releases a desperate roar, but just as it always happens, somebody got to his rescue. And it is Astro Juggernaut. He pushes back both Titans off Jimmy while using his missiles, and then jumps at Titan Siren, so now G-Man can deal with TV Man on his own. And this time he knew that he didn't have much time for him left. So with just two quick movements, he cuts off the zombie Titan's hands and drives the blade into TV Man's body, making him fall to the ground and get exposed to the power of Jimmy's core that can destroy zombies forever. And it seems like he's about to fulfill Titan TV Man's last wish when the Plague Doctor suddenly interrupts the flow of the episode. He angrily says, "Do you think it's all over and you've won? But it's not that simple. Now you will see my creation." And as he was saying that, he activates the special button that turns TV Man's body into something even more abysmal. So now he looks exactly like the alpha monster from the movie called Edge of Tomorrow, as their movements and appearance seem to be exactly the same. And the only thing that tells us that it used to be Titan TV Man's body before is his zombie TV screen that stayed on top of the monster's head. So the modernized freak uses the underground attack to catch G-Man's limbs and immobilize him. And just as the monster started approaching him, another missile stopped him, and it's Astro Juggernaut who came to help his brother once again. But unfortunately, he underestimated the power of Zombie TV Man this time, and he paid the highest price for his overconfidence. So the freak goes underground again and wraps his tentacles around Astro's body, and we can see how at that moment the Juggernaut's eyes got widened out of fear. And then the most awful thing happens, which basically broke my heart, because Titan TV Man gnaws at Astro's neck and makes his infected too. And what's even more tragic about this scene is how G-Man couldn't really do anything to help his friend, as he's still immobilized by the monster and almost all of his resources were exhausted by the power of Hephaestus' core. And if we would compare G-Man's appearance from the beginning of the episode and from this moment, then we can notice how his whole body gets slowly consumed by the core again. But as he watches his friend getting infected, he falls into rage mode and releases himself with the usage of his sword. And then he looks at the freak's eyes, and we can see one of the most epic scenes I've ever witnessed in the entire history of Skibidi toilet multiverses. His sword starts glowing bright blue color, and then all the space around him starts getting flooded in purple. And this is an obvious reference to the anime called The Eminence in Shadow. But instead of, "I am atomic," Jimmy says, "I am G-Man." And this phrase sounded cold as hell. And just as it happened in this anime, the world also shatters into black and white. And on this insane note, today's episode ends. So I believe we will witness the true power of Titan G-Man in the next episode, and I cannot wait to see the new portion of this epicness. And that was all for today. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so you will not miss my new videos, and also to my Discord where you can contact me directly and get lots of info for my subscribers only. And that was me, Isotoilet. See ya!